Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Unstoppable Entertainment Show. This is episode 30. I am, of course, Nate Schaffner, otherwise known as the Unstoppable Nate. Welcome back. Yes, I am truly unstoppable. I hope you guys are enjoying the show. Um, I I hope you guys are doing okay. I hope you're doing well. I know it's a crazy, crazy world out there right now, and I hope this show provides a brief respite from whatever it is you're going through in life. My goal in this show is to provide joy, provide insight into the entertainment industry. It's something that I have a great deal of passion about. So I hope you guys continue to enjoy the show. I'm like I've been saying, I'm going to try to get back to doing this on a semi-regular basis. So with all that in mind, if you like I always say, if you like this show, go ahead and hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, spread the word, tell your friends. Also, if you have a comment, a question, or if you'd like me to talk about certain movies or franchises, you can email me anytime at the address listed in the description of this video. So, with that out of the way, let's get started with this. Uh, so, I think it's safe to say that lately, excuse me, um, video game to film adaptations lately have been good, if not great. However, there is a long, sad history of not so great video game to movie adaptations. And there is one coming that might fall into the latter category. This article is on MovieWeb, published by uh, Ernesto Valenzuela. And this article says, it may have taken 50 years, but it's finally happening. A Space Invaders movie is officially in the works. The original Space Invaders game was released in 1978 and has a simple premise. The player controls a spaceship and shoots down the invading aliens. However, that won't stop a movie adaptation from being made, and it couldn't come at a better time. With successful video game adaptations like a Minecraft movie dominating the box office. Okay, let me just jump in right there and say, financially successful, a Minecraft movie was financially successful. Yes. It's a terrible movie. I didn't go to see it at the theater. I watched it at home. And thank God I did. Because, oh my God, that movie is awful. It's just awful. Video game adaptations like a Minecraft movie dominating the box office. And HBO's The Last of Us receiving critical acclaim. Moreover, a creative team has already been attached to the project. According to an exclusive report from Deadline, New Line Cinema has recruited screenwriters Ben Zazov and Evan Turner to write the script for the Space Invaders movie, stating that it will be directly inspired by the Taito arcade game that has become so iconic. No specific story details have been revealed yet, probably because it's such a simple story, as the project is still in the earliest stages of development. Okay. The premise, the plot of Space Invaders is so simple. It's so basic. Why? What could you possibly do with a movie? Like this could more. Let me. This article mentions the the successful Minecraft movie. Um, yeah, that movie's terrible, and I have a feeling this Space Invaders movie um, is going to be just as awful. I have uh, an inkling. Now, it could go the way of the Sonic the Hedgehog movies, but I doubt it. I don't understand. Like, first of all, Space Invaders, like I said, came out in 1978. And I love Space Invaders. I love playing that game. It's hard. It's a difficult game, but I love it. This is just whoever. I don't even I don't have one positive thing to say about this. This is an awful idea. So like, what do you? I don't understand what the player controls a spaceship and shoots down aliens. That's the story. That's the premise of the movie. What are you gonna? Is it going to be a movie of just like one guy holding a machine gun up to spaceships and just blasting them until I don't know. Like, this sounds terrible. I have no reason to think that this is a good idea. But I've been wrong before. Space Invaders. I I have nothing positive to say. I have said what I think about this. I think this is an awful idea. I think this movie is going to be terrible. But we will see what happens. I can only hope. So jump in the comment section and let me know your thoughts on a Space Invaders film adaptation. Okay, this next bit of news actually uh, brings me joy. Um, so there's going to be a this article is on Variety, published by Matt Donnelly. And it involves it talks about this sibling comedy that is going to uh, come out next year. Um, this article says the outlook for big screen comedies keeps getting brighter as beloved Saturday Night Live alum Kristen Wiig is joining Jonah Hill in his new Warner Brothers feature Cut Off. Wiig has booked the co-lead alongside Hill. They'll reportedly play wealthy siblings whose parents turn off the money faucet and force their adult kids to support themselves. Hill is directing the project and co-wrote the script with Ezra Woods. This could be interesting. I love Kristen Wiig so much. She's incredibly talented. She can do both drama and comedy very well. I'm not. How do I want to say this? I'm a bigger. Lately, Jonah Hill has been doing more dramatic stuff, and I've loved that. Like, I loved him in Moneyball. I know that was a while ago, but he was great in that. I like and he was great in Wolf of Wall Street. I I'm not. There were a few comedies that he was in that I enjoyed, but not a lot of them. Like, I loved the 21 Jump Street movies; those were great. But I just didn't respond to them. Like, what's the one with McLovin? I like that one actually. Um, um, Superbad. Yeah, I like Superbad. But I'm more of a fan of Kristen Wiig. Now, wealthy siblings whose parents turn off the money faucet and force their adult kids to support themselves. I think this movie. I think that sounds really cool. It's really interesting, and I think, and I say this as an elder millennial. I think elder millennials and uh, I think elder millennials need to take their uh, Gen Z brothers and sisters to this movie because I don't know about anybody else, but us millennials have fucking had it with this with Generation Z. So I think this idea of wealthy siblings whose parents turn off the money faucet and force their adult kids to support themselves. Maybe these Gen Z kids need to see a movie like this to understand what life is really like. I know that may sound like a bit of a stretch, but and in the guise of a comedy, I think this could really hit home for many people. And with talents like Kristen Wiig and Jonah Hill, I think this could be a really good movie. Um, I hope I think certain people I think people of Generation Z will need to see this movie if it's good to kind of understand what life is really like out there, instead of just being handed shit all the time and getting participation trophies and all that crap. So this sounds great to me. Jump in the comment section and let me know your thoughts about this. So this before I get to my next topic, let me see here. So one of my, I want to hold on, please. So one of my pleasant surprise movies that I recently saw was Final Destination Bloodlines. And I say pleasant surprise because for the most part, I would say that the Final Destination movies are cheesy horror movies. They're corny. They're everybody watches those movies to see the creative ways in which people die. There's no really the story and the plot. They're pretty thin. Final Destination 5, which came out in 2011, was actually pretty good. I mean, there was actually some substance there. Now, I say pleasant surprise with Final Destination Bloodlines that came out earlier this year. I loved that movie. That movie is great. Like, it's not cheesy. It's a very like, oh, this movie can be taken seriously. It's not cheesy. It's not corny. It's like it's like an extremely well-made horror movie, and it may go down. It might go down as one of my favorite movies of the year. To be perfectly honest with you, I loved Final Destination Bloodlines. Well, there is some news regarding the Final Destination um, franchise. And I do have to say, it was great seeing uh, Tony Todd in Final Destination Bloodlines. Um, you know, it, such a big part of that franchise and of the horror genre in general. Um, it was that was his final role, and it was the movie's great. Final Destination Bloodlines is great. So this article is on Screen Rant, published by Katrina Yang, and this article says a new Final Destination movie is in the works after the massive success of the franchise's sixth installment, Final Destination Bloodlines. Let's see. This article goes on to say, now New Line Cinemas has hired the movie's co-writer, Laurie Evans Taylor, to work on the script for the next installment, as first reported by The Hollywood Reporter. So, this article does point out that this would be the seventh Final Destination. And this article does point out Final Destination 7 is officially in development with key players from Bloodline's creative team returning. That I think is the good news. That's key. I given the massive success of Final Destination Bloodlines, the fact that the creative team from Bloodlines is coming back for Final Destination 7 is great news. Final Destination Bloodlines is awesome. It's awesome. So I think with the same creative team returning for Final Destination 7, there is... Ooh, there's a glare. Ooh, look at that. There is an opportunity to recreate the success of Bloodlines. And I think that the chance of success is pretty... high chance of success, I would say. So I'm actually for the first time, I'm actually excited to see a new Final Destination movie. So jump in the comment section and let me know what you guys think about Final Destination 7 in development with for the most part the creative team back for Bloodlines. Jump in the comment section and let me know what you guys think. So this next bit of news kind of stinks. For those who don't know, there will be a fifth Shrek movie, and I would say, at least for me, the Shrek franchise is kind of 50-50. Like the first two are great. The third and the fourth kind of they decline they very much decline in quality, at least in my opinion. But those movies make a lot of money. So there's going to be, and especially after the massive success of Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, which was great. It's so good. There's going to be a Shrek 5. However, that movie is... This article is on... There's some kind of sucky news about Shrek 5. This article is on CBR, published by Lee Freitag. This article says, according to Variety, Universal and DreamWorks Animation have delayed the release of Shrek 5 from December 23rd, 2026 to June 30th, 2027. So um, there's no. It doesn't say um, why in the article why the movie is being delayed. Um, but it kind of sucks, you know. I just I've always said I hate when stuff gets delayed because I want everything in the entertainment industry to function properly. I know that's a lot to ask, maybe too much to ask, but I just want everything to be released on time and function properly. And it just kind of sucks, especially after the massive success of the last Puss in Boots movie. It just kind of sucks to see Shrek 5 get delayed. But, and it doesn't give a reason why. Hopefully, everything creatively is working on point. Um, but, at least we're still getting it. I it just kind of sucks. But I'm looking forward to Shrek 5. Hopefully they'll be able to duplicate the success of the first two Shrek movies and at least the success of Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, because Puss in Boots: The Last Wish was great. It was one of my favorite movies that year. Um, but let me know what you think about. Are you looking forward to Shrek 5? Uh, hopefully we'll get the. Hopefully they'll be able to duplicate the success that they've had in the past. So let me know. This next bit of news is fascinating to me. So, um, full disclosure, and I know this might be a hot take. I know a lot of people enjoy the Netflix series Wednesday. I am not one of them. I have no interest in watching it. Uh, you know, um, it just doesn't. I never. Uh, hold on just a second. So um, I'm sorry about this. So like to me, Christina Ricci is Wednesday, and that will always be the case. And I like Jenna Ortega just fine, um, but I just I know a lot of people like the show. I just have no interest in watching it. Now that being said, um, and I love the Addams Family movies, the ones with Angelica Houston and Christina Ricci and Raul Julia. I love those movies. Um, so with all that being said, there's some news regarding uh, uh, the Adams Family property, if you will. This article is on CBR, published by Sam Fang. Um, this article says the creators of Netflix's hit series Wednesday recently revealed their plans for an exciting new Addams Family movie. It comes with a catch, though, as the film won't be made in collaboration with Netflix. According to Deadline, Wednesday creators Alfred Goff and Miles Millar are working on a new animated Addams Family movie with Amazon MGM Studios. It is reportedly a complete reboot or reimagining, not at all associated with the Netflix series starring Jenna Ortega or previous animated films. This article does go on to say that Alfred Goff says, we're rebooting the animated film franchise, so it won't have anything to do with the two films before it, nor is it connected with this show. It will be a brand new Addams feature. Okay, so I love the original Addams Family movies. The animated, like, I want to see the Addams Family in live action. Like, to me, those characters, they're just so wild to me, and just they're just fun characters, and to see them portrayed in live action is a lot of fun to watch. I would rather see that, but I'll take an animated Addams Family movie. However, I have not seen the other Addams Family animated movies. I have heard they're pretty terrible. So I'm glad that this will be a new thing, that it's not related to any other Addams Family stuff. And as much as I have no interest in Wednesday, I know that the show has had an enormous amount of success, and the Wednesday series has had a lot of success. So I'm glad that the Wednesday creators are involved in developing this new Addams Family movie. That makes me think that it's actually going to be good, and people will go see it. I'm glad that it's not going to be in collaboration with Netflix. Like, I want to see the Addams Family on the big screen. Again, I would rather it live action, but I'll take an animated one. So the fact that the creators of Wednesday are involved in this gives me hope that it's going to be good. So jump in the comment section. Let me know. Do you want to see a new Addams Family movie? What do you guys think? Would you rather have it be live action, or are you happy with animated? Jump in the comment section and let me know your guys' thoughts. Well, this next bit of news, can be. Excuse me, just a second. Under the category of why, there's this piece of news. So, full disclosure, I love I don't want to say I love them. The first Rambo movie with Sylvester Stallone, First Blood. I love that movie so much. And it was but after that, I think the Rambo movies kind of went steadily downhill in quality. They took First Blood, which showed this war veteran who is triggered by PTSD, and they turned it into this just straight up action franchise, and I didn't like that. I think there was a lot more they could have. they took an interesting character like John Rambo, who is triggered by his mistreatment, and like when he at the beginning of First Blood, when he gets to the city, he's mistreated, and that his PTSD is triggered, like I said, and that leads to obviously leads to violent outcomes for the local law enforcement of the city in that movie. And I thought that movie's great. First Blood is great, and it's a very interesting character. Unfortunately, at least in my opinion, the Rambo franchise, like I said, it went downhill, and they kind of turned it into this schlocky action franchise, and I didn't like that. I think the Rambo movies have declined in quality ever since then. And so it is with extreme hesitation that I read this article here. So this article is on CBR, published by Lee Freitag. For the first time in 40 years, someone besides Sylvester Stallone will play John Rambo. Millennium Media's upcoming Rambo prequel, John Rambo, has cast the next actor to step into the iconic action role. According to Deadline, Noah Centineo is attached to star in John Rambo as its title character. So Noah Centineo was in Black Adam. He was also the lead in that spy adventure series, The Recruit, on Netflix. So this article does go on to say that production on John Rambo is expected to begin this fall in Thailand, so it's probably already started by now, with Sisu director Jalmari Helander in the director's chair. Rory Haynes and Sohrab Noshirvani wrote the screenplay for the prequel, which will focus on a young John Rambo during the Vietnam War. Okay. Why do we need this? Why? I mean, we don't need to see it. We don't need to see a John Rambo during the Vietnam War. Like, we already know he's a Vietnam War veteran. We don't need to see it. And I like a prequel? Why? This doesn't make any sense to me. Noah Centineo certainly looks the part. I mean, he clearly can play the role physically. And with the director of Sisu, certainly the action's going to be great. I like, it's pretty clear to me that people aren't interested in Rambo anymore. At least I'm not. I don't understand this decision. Maybe the studio, it feels like the studio is grasping at straws. All I can say is this. If it's good, if I hear it's good, I'll see it. But I'm extremely hesitant about it. That's all I'll say. I don't know whether anybody would be interested in seeing Rambo without Sylvester Stallone, let alone a prequel. I don't understand. Just because like we see him at the beginning of First Blood, and it's clear that he's a Vietnam War veteran. We don't need to see John Rambo during the Vietnam War to prove that he is a Vietnam War veteran. We already know he is. We don't want to see it. Um, sometimes prequels make sense. This one doesn't. If I hear it's good, I'll see it. But I there's nothing to me that says that it's going to be. So, but jump in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think about this. Maybe I'm wrong. So this next bit of news piques my interest. So I think a movie one of the movies that was kind of really how do I want to say it? So Angelina Jolie is going to be reuniting with director Doug Liman. Now, Doug Liman directed Mr. and Mrs. Smith, which with Angelina Jolie, and I heard it's. I haven't seen it. I've heard it's decent. Um, but I feel like Mr. and Mrs. Smith was one of those movies that really kind of, I don't want to say, it was kind of this cultural thing where you have Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, and obviously that movie had a great deal of effect on their personal relationship, and it's and I feel like Mr. and Mrs. Smith was one of those movies that was kind of like lightning in a bottle. Like it just became this cultural thing. Like everybody knew Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie were together. Let's go see them in this movie. That's in this action movie. That's pretty good. I feel like it was kind of this cultural zeitgeist kind of thing. So Angelina Jolie is going to be reuniting with Doug Liman for a new movie. This article is on Joe Blow, published by E.J. Tangonen. Let's see. About halfway down, this article says, according to the Hollywood Reporter, Angelina Jolie is ready to get back in ass-kicking mode with The Initiative, an action spy thriller that will reunite her with her Mr. and Mrs. Smith director, Doug Liman. This article goes on to say, described as a training day set in the world... It says set in the world Spycraft. I'm assuming it means set in the world of Spycraft. The story would see Jolie playing a rogue master spy named Bright who works outside the lines, because sometimes you need someone bad to bring down people who are even worse, as the movies have taught us. When a new agent named Charlie joins Bright's team, he soon finds himself in situations where he isn't sure whether his new boss is trying to kill him or simply is willing to do whatever is necessary to protect the free world. Cool. That sounds interesting. Obviously, Angelina Jolie and Doug Liman had a good working relationship. Training Day set in the world of Spycraft. That sounds great to me. I love Training Day. So and Angelina Jolie playing a character. It says trying to can't. He isn't sure. Charlie isn't sure whether she's trying to kill him or simply is willing to do whatever's necessary to protect the free world. That sounds interesting. That sounds like a great female character, a good, strong female character, which I always love. And Doug Liman's pretty busy these days. And he's a good director. Um, mm, Hopefully it's good, and hopefully it'll. Well, I guess it doesn't need to duplicate the success of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, but it would be pretty cool if it did. That would be. I love Angelina Jolie. Um, um, and I miss she there's not a lot that she's doing these days, and I miss her. Um, um, and and so it'll be great to see her in this kind of a role again. So I'm looking forward to this. So jump in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think about Angelina Jolie returning to kick ass. All right, this next bit of news. Let's move on here. So, Taylor Sheridan to me is he's certainly one of the busiest men in the business right now. He always has multiple things going on, multiple things, multiple things happening all at once, and it's pretty clear to me that he's you know I know some people who have worked with him, and they question his filmmaking tactics, I suppose, but the quality of the material is definitely second to none. And so Taylor Sheridan has an upcoming action thriller project. This article is on Joe Blow, published by Kevin Fraser. Let's see. A little bit down here. It says one of Taylor Sheridan's many upcoming projects is F.A.S.T, an action thriller starring Brendan Sklenar from 1923, and The Hollywood Reporter reports that LaKeith Stanfield, Jason Clarke, Sam Claflin, and Trevante Rhodes have now joined the cast. The film revolves around a former Special Forces commando down on his luck after he returns stateside, who is tapped by the DEA to lead a black ops strike team against CIA-protected drug dealers in his town. That sounds interesting. Taylor Sheridan wrote the script, and it will be directed by Ben Richardson, who I believe directed every episode of 1923. Did he direct every episode? I know he directed a lot of them. So, another Taylor Sheridan project, sign me up. The cast for me, it's LaKeith Stanfield. I'm not too big on Jason Clarke. Jason Clarke to me, he seems there are many films that he's been in. Like I feel like Jason Clarke needs a new agent, I guess is what I'm getting at, because he seems to be the destroyer of franchises or destroyer of quality. A quality destroyer is Jason Clarke. Um, However, I mean, given that this is Taylor Sheridan, I think it could be really good, if not great. Um, LaKeith Stanfield to me is he's one of my favorite actors working right now. He was in One Battle After Another with Leonardo DiCaprio, and he was great in that. Um, Even if it was, uh, it wasn't even a supporting. It was a minor supporting role, but he was very good. Um, um, he's one of my favorite actors working right now. I hope Jason Clarke is good in this, and I hope this is good. This sounds interesting, and so I I mean Taylor Sheridan just keeps staying busy, which is always great. So jump in the comments section and let me know what you guys think about this new action thriller from Taylor Sheridan. So, this next bit of news is extremely exciting for me personally. Um, Excuse me just a second. In case anyone didn't know, I am a huge, huge horror movie fanatic. I love horror movies. I think I was talking I was talking with uh, my family, my wife Katie, my sister Stephanie, and my mother, and um, and um, none of them like horror movies. Not a one. And I was explaining to them why I love horror movies. And I explained to them, I was like, look, there is a dark side to humanity. I think everybody knows that. And I think it's a lot of fun to creatively open the door to that dark side of humanity, to creatively explore that part of us. Um, it's horror movies are fun for me. They're just it's an escapist genre. I love reading horror as well. Um, I love horror. And one of my it might go down as one of my favorite movies of this year. It was directed by Zach Cregger, who directed Barbarian. Was this kind of mystery horror movie this year called Weapons with Josh Brolin, and it's great. It's awesome. I had I'm so glad I was able to see it. Um, it's a mystery. It's kind of darkly comedic, and it's like a mystery dark comedy horror movie, and it's awesome. And it's directed by Zach Cregger. Now, one of when I was a kid, I also loved playing horror video games. And one of my favorites was, I remember, or at least, and this might date me a little bit, um, but when I was a kid, Resident Evil 2 for the PlayStation was like this, again, like this cultural thing. Like everybody played Resident Evil 2. And that game scared the bejesus out of me. and I loved it. And then came the Resident Evil movies, which I think I saw the first two. And then I haven't watched any of them since. Mostly because I thought even the first two weren't very good. But they made a lot of money, you know. Now, the reason I bring this up is because director Zach Cregger, who, like I said, directed this movie called Barbarian, he directed Weapons, which I loved. He is going to be directing a new Resident Evil movie, based on the video game. It's going to be a total reinvention of at least the Resident Evil film franchise. And there's been some news regarding that movie. This article is on KinoCheck, published by Konstantin Kus. And this article, little ways into it, says director Zach Cregger already has a new movie in the pipeline, the Resident Evil reboot. Cregger was recently a guest on the movie podcast The Big Picture, where he confirmed the lead actor for the new adaptation. The role will be played by Austin Abrams, who has been associated with the project for some time. The actor can currently be seen... So Austin Abrams was in Weapons, and he was great in Weapons. And he's also on Euphoria, the TV show Euphoria. And he was in that Brad Pitt and George Clooney movie Wolves. So Zach Cregger further revealed, this article goes on to say that Zach Cregger further revealed that his Resident Evil film will differ from his previous works, Barbarian and Weapons. Let's see. He says, let's see, let me scroll down here. Cregger emphasized that the film will tell an original story. It is, he says, it is obedient to the lore of the games. It's just a different story. I'm not going to tell Leon's story because Leon's story is told in the games. Fans already have that. Okay. This might come as a shock to people, but good. Like, I love what he said, actually. Why tell a story, a Resident Evil story cinematically that we've already seen in a video game? Tell a new story. I love that. As like he says it's going to be obedient to the lore of the games. That's fucking awesome. Like, follow the rules of the game. Follow, like, you have an established world, an established world and established lore in the Resident Evil video games. So just tell an original story, and I love that. And after the success of Barbarian and what I saw in Weapons, God, Zach Cregger, I think, is going to knock this out of the park and finally give us... I think he could give us a great Resident Evil movie. I really, really do. If you guys haven't seen Weapons, first of all, watch Barbarian. Um, and then, but Weapons for me was like, whoa, like holy crap. Um, I think Zach Cregger is the perfect guy to do this. So jump in the comment section and let me know. Are you like I know that my fear is that audiences may be tired of Resident Evil movies. You know, but like if you market it as from the director of Barbarian and Weapons, Resident Evil, that could put some butts in seats because those movies, you know. So jump at the like. Are how do you fall? Do you fall into that camp of I don't want to see another Resident Evil movie? They've already ruined it, you know. Or are you in the camp of oh, Zach Cregger, the guy who directed Weapons, is gonna do a Resident Evil movie? Like that's awesome. How do you guys feel? Jump in the comment section and let me know your thoughts. One last bit of news here for this episode. So there's there is this let me see here. There's this an ensemble cast has been announced for this movie called Close Personal Friends. Plot details of the film are being kept under wraps, but there has been some cast announcements. This article is on Deadline, published by Justin Kroll. Brie Larson, Lily Collins, Jack Quaid, and Henry Golding are set to star in Close Personal Friends from Amazon MGM Studios. Jason Orley is directing. Let's see. Okay, so there's not much information to go on. For me, I can. There's only so much I can offer, given how much information we have. I'm not too familiar with Jack Quaid or Lily Collins. I'm not too familiar with their work. I do like Henry Golding very much. I saw him in Crazy Rich Asians, and then even though it wasn't very good, there was that Snake Eyes movie that he did, and he was good in it. I mean that the movie was terrible though. But for me, it's Brie Larson. I love Brie Larson. She's one of my favorite actresses working right now. So with the title called Close Personal Friends, just how close and personal are we talking? Just the title has me intrigued. That's a title that immediately piques my interest. Like, ooh, I want to see that. Just like Close Personal Friends. Okay. I feel like this could be like a romantic comedy about couples or lovers or whatever. But it's a good cast. I love Brie Larson, like I said. Um, so yeah, so again, there's not much to go on here. Um, I I've seen, like I said, Brie Larson. I've seen her in stuff outside of the Marvel stuff, and I think she's very good. I think she's a great actress, Academy Award winning. So, but yeah, so jump in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think about that, and that'll about do it for episode 30 of the Unstoppable Entertainment Show. Um, I hope you guys enjoy the show. I hope to. I'm going to be recording another episode here shortly, um, but let me know if you guys have anything you'd like me to talk about. You can email me. Um, Other than that, I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and as always, I will see you at the movies.